please don't try to cheer me up tonight. Please don't tell me how it's all gonna be alright. Got a drink in my hand and it's doing the trick. I got my problems, man, but I'm not thinking about it right now. Please don't turn that radio on. Please don't show me your new favorite love song. Well, boy loves girl and I couldn't care less, and girl loves boy, but it's a one hot mess. Well, heaven ain't down in my hood today. You could tell me all you want now, well, every little thing's gonna Dumb Love Song is, I mean, it's a pretty self-explanatory song because it's sort of a bad attitude song. It's about a guy who's down on his luck and he doesn't want to be cheered up. He doesn't want to hear, you know, some stupid love song on the radio because he doesn't believe in any of that. He just wants to sit down and finish his drink. I guess the other thing I should point out is, you know, because at the time this was written, the big song at the time was the Taylor Swift song. And so the bridge talking about the pretty blonde girl is talking about her take on Romeo and Juliet, which I thought was pretty entertaining at the time. But yeah, that's Dumb Love Song. There's nothing here in this small town of hate and fear. Let's hit the road, foot on the gas, hand on the wheel and steer. If I can more, then I do. The same old song is playing on my radio. It's drained the blood off every melody I've ever known. But I'm too bored to be low. Well, just when I've been feeling down and drowning in this dead end town, I finally think it's getting through. Oh, nothing more than nothing to you. Too Bored to Be Blue was a song that I actually wrote from start to finish on a napkin. I was sitting in the car waiting for somebody else to run an errand, and they took a really long time. So long that I was able to write all the words to this song, and I kind of, somewhere in my head I had the melody for it as I was writing it. And so it was really a simple process to put it to music. And then I guess this is also a song that was written earlier on, and I feel like writing this song was really important for developing the whole album and the whole attitude of the album, because it was a song where I wrote it and I mean, it's not an offensive song, it really isn't. You know, I'm not, whatever, singing about maiming people or anything like that, but, you know, the song is not interested in what other people think about it or what it has to say. And I think that I hadn't really written a song like that before. And I had so much fun playing it live that I feel like it really sort of influenced where the rest of the album went lyrically, and you know, there's just like an unapologetic quality about the song that I really love. And so even though it was a song that I had done kind of earlier on, it was an older tune, I knew that it was gonna be on the album for that reason.
One too many on a drunken night, you know I'm not quite sure, but I think I should have died. But I'm alive. Oh, I'm living on borrowed time. Took one look at the car crash site. That tree put up one hell of a good fight, but I survived. Oh, I'm living on borrowed time. No time for this laughing, it's just to keep from crying. No time for this living, that's just to keep from dying. I keep making problems, they keep multiplying. And I burn them down, burn them down, burn down to the ground. It leaves me more lost than found. Oh, I'm living on borrowed time.
Was interesting because when I was first writing it, I was singing what goes on in this life. That was sort of what the title I was writing to, but I couldn't really get the song put together, and I wasn't sure what was going on. But there's just no stories coming out of it, and so I was talking to a friend about accepting a ride from someone who's a very bad driver, notoriously bad driver. And so I said to him, I was like, you know, man, I feel like I'm living on borrowed time, because like I can't believe I lived through that. And he said, Sean, that sounds like you need to make that a song. And then luckily I already had this music, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, living on borrowed time. It just fit so perfectly, like it was meant to be. And then the whole story came afterwards.
Inside my heart, your heart still grows. A seed I am buried long ago. And though the tides took you away, inside my heart, your heart makes waves to these rhythms I sway. And the deepest secret no one knows, the tallest tree that's ever grown, the strongest seed you've ever sown, was your inside of my heart.
Your Heart Inside My Heart is one of the oldest, maybe the oldest song that made it on the album. You know, in some ways it's probably the most classic, maybe the sweetest love song on the album. Usually I'll sort of play it alone, but when I made it for the album, when I was recording the album version, I wanted to take a different look at it, because I'd been playing it live for a long time, and so I added, you know, lots of these electronic instruments, and I gave it a little bit more of a funky beat. And so it was the first time actually where I experienced people, because you know, some family really liked that song, and I played them my newer version of it, and it was the first time, I guess, where I sort of got like bad reviews. You know, people kind of liked the original, the sincerity or whatever, and it still is sincere, but it just has a little bit different perspective. I really like the version that made the album. I don't know if it'll end up being the live version, but I felt like it worked really, really well in context of the other songs.
Learned a lot today about the price I'd paid if you are not, and the battle's best left forgotten. I wrote a song today, the words, they're so dark and grey. Got a refrain so full of dismay, it sounds like a suicide poem. It ends with, I'm headed home, I'm headed back home. Packed all I own, a one-way flight is headed home, headed back home. Was at the devil's toll, trying to peddle a piece of my soul. And he said, boy, you must be mistaken. I could fill a black hole with all the sinners.
There was a time, if a couple things had lined up quickly, I had the opportunity to become possibly quite famous. I mean, of course, it fell through, crashed and burned, you know, like that. I was sitting alone in a hotel room with a really beat up, crappy keyboard, you know, with like batteries, battery operated. And I wrote this song, Destination Home, sort of about what I thought I was willing to give up to be on the fast track, to do it the easy way, and to get some recognition. But yeah, so this song I wrote, and it was examining selling out, and there was a time where I thought that this would be the last song on the album. This song being written sort of midway through the project. I thought that it would be the last song, and yet when I came to the end of recording the album, close to the end, the song, I knew that it couldn't be there. It just didn't work with the sort of the story that was forming for the album. And so it almost wasn't on the album at all. I took him off, this guy, and it was just at the last minute, you know, where I was doing the sequencing and I had everything set without it, and I just felt like the song was too personal, too much a part of who I am and who I was, a picture of who I was at the time, that I felt like I couldn't put out this album and call it, you know, Volume 1, you know, almost of like a gigantic autobiography without this song. And so I sort of dug out a place for it on the album, and I'm actually really happy with where it sits, and I'm really happy it's on the album.
It's hard to say goodbye, though it's not the end of our lives. Just some moments to sweat out between now and somewhere down the line. If you've got the legs to run, well, I've got the will to stay behind and crack a joke and keep hope that we'll be ready come next time. So I'll let you go to the great unknown. And if you love me, then you might come back, and on that day I might know where does
titled Where Does the Good Go. It was another song where you kind of get like a piece, you know? I had that little bit. I had the title, I had the line, Where Does the Good Go? And, it took me a while to examine what I was really asking. And I was writing it, and I had, in the middle of the writing of this album, a family member who I'd really grown up knowing pretty much every day of my life had passed away. And it's funny, I swear, like I was looking for that second verse and I could just see him right over my shoulder saying, you're not going to finish this record without talking about me a little bit. And so he's in there, and it's another very personal kind of song. And again, for a while this felt like it was the last song, but it just, I didn't want to end the album as a question.
A smile forced and faint, a weird goodbye in the rain. My courage down the drain, and I fear I failed you again. But looking past the blue, though muddled and confused, this melody is the truth, my song, a song to you. My song, a song to you. And shining past the blue, veil a silent gloom.
My song was the last song that was written for the album. I knew that after having done close to like maybe 20 tracks, 20 whole recordings, all of them being, whatever, 50 to 100 tracks, with synths all over the place, background vocals, orchestral arrangements, I knew that I wanted something that wasn't gonna be as planned. I wanted something a little spontaneous. So this song was recorded live. The main performance, the piano vocal, was done all at once. And then I couldn't really resist not adding little bits here and there, but I feel like it still captured the essence of what I really am as a musician. Ever since I started playing, was really always just me and the piano, singing and playing. And I could still have a big band, and I could still have an orchestra behind me, but there would still always be a spot where I would just play and sing alone, because that's what I do hours a day. And so this song filled that void, and then I just felt that it was the best goodbye that I had to offer for this album. It was the best way to end it. And so there it is at the end, my song. And that is every song on the album. I'm going to work on getting it out to you guys as quickly as possible. There's going to be lots more coming, hopefully some music videos. And so I hope you enjoyed listening to me sort of fumble through these songs and what they meant to me. And thanks for watching. See you soon.
And we're in the dress of toss of your mind, the crass that you thought best refined, the victims of the